It's finally time. Chat, I have climbed the absolute mountain that is One Piece. And the second highest absolute mountain, which is Wano. I have finished Wano officially. I know. I hold the applause, guys. I know, it's a big deal. I know, it's a big deal. It's finally time to tier list every single arc in One Piece. But I'm not doing it alone. While I am filling out my own tier list, I will be inquiring chat to do their own. Every single arc we get to, I'm going to poll the live stream chat. So every single arc, we're going to do a poll for the chat to make their own tier list too, okay? That's pretty much it. It's pretty much that simple. Let's get into it. Where's the pain arc? Okay, so this is One Piece, not Naruto. Okay, we're gonna go in order here, chat, and we're gonna start it off from the very beginning. So I'm gonna start the poll for the first one. Romance Dawn, the beginning of One Piece. Here's the thing. In retrospect, Romance Dawn is insanely important because now, after Wano, we know the importance of the exact fruit that Luffy ate and how big of a player Shanks still is. I was literally talking to someone the other day that was asking about like power creep in One Piece. He was like, do characters get power crept? I was like, oh yeah, sure. Cause I was thinking about like the warlords and stuff. Like, I feel like Doflamingo got power crept pretty bad, like later on. He's still really strong, but you know what I mean? And then he was like, okay, so like Shanks. And I was like, yeah, a lot of people get power crept. Shanks is not one of them. So it's the start of One Piece. In retrospect, it's very important about like them having that devil fruit and everything. Like what Starmander said in chat, it's not about the importance, it's about how good the arc is. Romance Dawn is only like 4 or 5 episodes. We get, I think, Zoro joining the crew, Axe Hand Morgan, and just the beginning of the show. And then him meeting Kobe too. Alvida's just not a very exciting villain. So Romance Dawn Sea King is Yonko level. Bro, if you still think that Shanks actually like couldn't have not lost an arm, you're not watching One Piece correctly. It was a symbolic gesture to the new generation, buddy. It was a symbolic gesture. A, he doesn't need it. And B, it was him kicking off. Bro, don't cope me. I'm not even a Shanks glazer. Bro's in my life less than my father. I'm just kidding. My dad's in my life. That's not funny to joke about. That being said, Romance Dawn is good. Doesn't waste your time. Is very short though in comparison to other stuff. So I'm gonna put it at B. Now let's see what chat said. Let's see what chat's doing for their tier list. Oh, there we go. We think alike, chat. Let's go to your guys. This is your guys' tier list right here. You get your own. It's very cute. And there we go. All right, that was easy. Next up, Orange Town. Let me also keep this up just so I can reference it. One Piece is very long. I don't remember every exact episode. So like, give me some grace, bro, right? How long is Orange Town? Orange Town starts at 5 and goes to 8? 5 to 8. So about the same length as Romance Dawn, about 4 episodes. Dude, stuff moved fast in early One Piece. 4 episodes Romance Dawn in and out, 4 episodes Orange Town in and out. My gosh, man. I remember when Syrup Village felt long, but we'll get to that. Orange Town, we get Nami, we get the introduction of Buggy. Buggy is likable. He's not that serious of a villain, if we can even call him a villain. I really don't know what he is anymore. And we kind of get to see like Luffy and Zoro work together for the first time. Orange Town I'm a bit more split on because A, the retrospect, it's important still because we get Nami and we meet Buggy, but it's not as important as Romance Dawn. But I also feel like Zoro's fight with Kabaji was kind of cool. It was like, I don't know, besides Morgan, it was like the first kind of like, all right, like the action kind of be hidden in this. The action kind of be hidden. So here's what I'll say about Orange Town. It's not bad. I wouldn't say it's as good / engaging as Romance Dawn. It has the whole thing with the dog. I think its name is Chew, or is that the fish man's name? Chocho. That was a really good, like, I feel like Chocho the dog was like the first teaser of like the backstory power in One Piece too, bro. Like I got kind of like choked up, man. So Orange Town does about the same as Romance Dawn, just not as perfectly to me. So I'm gonna put it in C. It's not bad. It's not anything groundbreaking, but you know, it's Orange Town. Let's see what chat said. Let's see. I feel like chat's gonna say the same thing. Okay, a lot of people said B, but the majority is still C. I wonder if any of these are gonna come down to like 1 vote. Okay, so here's the thing. I am like really young, so I can translate this. He said, this shit pissed me off. I can't lie. First off, you do not have to be shortening every single word you type, bro. Second off, Onions, buddy, you need to lock in. How do you understand that? Because I'm cool. Now, this one I feel like is actually gonna be divisive. Syrup Village. Here we go. Here's the thing about Syrup Village. I feel like Syrup Village is easily the most hated on arc. Maybe besides Long Ring Long Land. Like, it's not even close how hated on it is. In Syrup Village, we meet the Black Cat Pirates, Cap and Kuro. I think the intrigue of who Kuro is pretty cool. I think he's also he's the first intimidating villain. Morgan wasn't intimidating. Buggy wasn't intimidating. Maybe a tiny bit at first. But Kuro, I was actually kind of like scared of. It also gives us the fight between Luffy and Kuro, where Luffy stood on his arm, or where he stood on Luffy's arm after it stretched. Sick moment. That's probably one of the best moments in East Blue, because that's when you feel like it's actually starting to scale and like people are kind of matching Luffy. You're like, okay, Luffy can get cut and this guy can match his speed. You know what I mean? So that fight alone was really cool. And like I said, in retrospect, it's crazy how Syrup Village felt long. Syrup Village is what? 9 through 17. So 8 episodes. Dude, it felt way longer than that. And I don't know why. I think these couple of episodes, like the fight in general, the fight could have been like 2 episodes and it just stretched it out. This is the first really kind of like criminal of pacing, I feel like, in One Piece. Anybody that tells you Romance Dawn and Orange Town were badly paced are actually tripping like crazy. Syrup Village definitely drags a bit, despite only being 8 episodes, which, like I said, in retrospect is crazy short. Syrup Village isn't as bad as people say, I don't think. Usopp is definitely very unlikable at first because you kind of understand his character very quickly. And my main gripe with Usopp is how like he hasn't come that far compared to every other Straw Hat, especially in Wano. Because I said, and I'll bring this up probably in Wano because that's gonna be a tough one to rank. Usopp not like saying like it's fine to lie and say that Luffy won't become Pirate King. That shows how little he's moved as a character. But we're not really talking about his progress. We're kind of talking about his introduction, so I won't get too far ahead of myself. This is kind of this is the first tough one, bro. I'm gonna think about it. I'm also gonna rank these in the order of the tier. Syrup Village is not as bad as people say, okay? It's really not. And I feel like it's not even a bad arc overall. It's either going in C or D for me. And the thing is, it's gonna be hard to even find arcs that fit into D for me. Because in comparison, I can't think of a single arc that does things worse than Syrup Village just from like right now. I can think of maybe one. So I'm gonna put Syrup Village and D. Let's see what chat said. Most said C. It's tough, bro. Because I do like the intrigue of like finding out, you know, Kaya's story and like what Kuro's doing. Does anybody remember my reactions? Did I even predict that Kuro was evil, or was it like a shocking reveal? I don't even remember how they revealed it. All I remember now is the live action. Next up, chat, Baratier. Baratier spans 19 through 29? 30. 19 through 30, so 11 episodes. See, this is the crazy thing. Baratier is how many? Wait, 13? No way. 19 through 30, so 11. Baratier is 3 episodes longer, 60 minutes longer than Syrup Village, but feels shorter in retrospect. That's how you can tell that the pacing of Syrup wasn't that good. Because Kuro definitely was a menacing villain, but in retrospect, Baratier felt like 5 episodes. All right, so in Baratier, we meet Sanji, joins the crew, get to know Zeph, get the fight with Don Krieg, get the moment with Mihawk, and the moment with Mihawk is carrying a lot of the weight besides Sanji's backstory. Most people don't remember Baratier for the fight with Don Krieg. I mean, like, you remember him, but Mihawk is kind of like the this is what it's like later on type, because he shows what it scales to. And in retrospect, it's kind of crazy because like I said, Mihawk is still very, 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 very relevant. Baratier, as you guys know, was also the first time I cried in One Piece, even though I don't cry at anime, so it's also a lie at the same time. Zoro gets his moment, pledging to Luffy. Like I said, Sanji stating his dream. Nami like dipping, and it's kind of like a pre-Arlong Park. It was really good, like front to back. I love the design of Baratier. I'm probably gonna bring in island design into the rankings as well. Love the design and the concept of Baratier, because like, bro, you never think of like a pirate show and think of like, why is there not just a ship restaurant like dedicated to it? That's just like a part of the One Piece world, you know what I mean? It introduces Pearl. It's easily peak. Okay, so I was gonna put it pretty high, but you reminded me about Pearl. Okay, that's interesting. So where would I put Baratier, that being said? Most of you know it's probably either going in peak or A for me. It does what it needs to very quickly and does everything very well, and like I said, sets off like the mark for One Piece. I'm putting Baratier in A. Super good, bro. Super good. Also, chat, I feel like a lot of people are gonna watch this and be like, anything below peak isn't even good. Like he's saying he didn't like it. Bro, it's just like in comparison with each other. Like I would say D is like, it's got a lot of issues. Man, I almost don't even want to put Syrup Village there because it really doesn't have that many issues. I'm moving moving Star Village up to C. It's still below Orange Town. Like I said, these are gonna be in order. It's still below Orange Town. Because like D would be, it has a lot of issues and it's just like not that watchable. 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 8/9, and then the 10 out of 10. Because that's how I kind of look at it. A lot of people see tier lists and think like, oh, bottom is like absolute trash. But I kind of want it to be like this because I'm setting this precedent now. I don't think there's any like absolutely trash arcs. I don't. I should have talked about this before. We're specifically rating this on the anime. I know a lot of people debate certain arcs, especially Dressrosa, in terms of what's better in the like if the manga is better. This is strictly anime. Where'd you guys put Baratie? Ah, most people said A. Bro, who put Baratie in C? That's kind of crazy. All right. Next up, Arlong Park. Bro, Baratie is like the teaser McGeezer, and then Arlong Park just puts it in you. Okay, so Arlong Park goes from 31 to 44. So it's about 13 episodes. Also takes a little bit for everything that happened in Arlong Park, especially with the prelude. There's a lot to break down because Arlong has been like running the place. Was it Kokoyashi Village? That's what it's called. Has been running it for a long time, bro. We get the best fights in the show thus far with Luffy and Arlong, and not even that, but like Zoro and Sanji with the fishmen. Zoro like swimming to the bottom of the— Bro, wait, was that Arlong's pool? Why was it so deep? Oh, because they're fishmen. That's right. Well, that thing was so deep. He had to swim so low. That wasn't the first time in One Piece 2 you're like, damn, Luffy kind of getting dog walked right now. Like they caged him and threw him in the water. You got the walk to Arlong Park. You got the backstory with Nami. You got Luffy putting the hat on Nami. You get the first mention of like the warlords and Jinbei and stuff. I think they literally mentioned Jinbei. I don't know if they say his name. They say his name, don't they? And then, yeah, like I said, it feels the most dire. Like, Baratie didn't really feel dire with Don Krieg. It felt, like, intense and hype, but actually, Arlong was, like, the first time you felt like they were gonna lose. You know what I mean? Usopp's, like, Tabasco star, that's, like, a cool Usopp moment. Like, bro doesn't even get that many moments regularly. Yeah, just all around. And so this is about this— wait, how long was it? 31 to 44? Okay, so about 30. It's, like, 2 more than Sura Village. But like I said, so it feels like so much more happens. It also already establishes like fishmen and like Arlong's hate for pirates and just like wanting to use humans. You know what I mean? It also introduces the goat Hachan. A lot of good stuff here, man. A lot of good stuff. You actually get to meet Garp and find out that he's Luffy's grandpa. No, that's a live action. I'm joking. I'm joking. Arlong Park. Let me noodle on this. There's a Hachan and Dragon Ball as well. Is that Frankenstein? Okay, this might actually get people on my cheeks. I'm putting Arlong Park top of A. I think it's about a 9 out of 10. Dude, it's like on the cusp, bro. It's on the cusp of perfection. Only because, and it's literally its only fault, and it's not even the fault of the arc, is that it's so early on in One Piece. That stuff is still building. You know what I mean? Arlong Park's a 9 out of 10. Let's see what chat said. This might be the first time me and chat disagree. Yup, it is. 42, put it in peak. 36 in A. Bro, 2 people put it in D. I feel like you just hate women. All right, so now this is the first differentiation between mine and chat's tier list, actually. This is the first difference. Ooh, it's getting spicy. It has Momu. You're right. It's going to S. Nope, I'm joking. All right, and again, it is above Baratie. Again, I'm ranking these in the order of the tier they're in. Next up, Roguetown. Logetown. I'm already losing my voice, bro. Logetown spans 45 to 53. A lot of big moments, bro. Logetown is like Romance Dawn Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Luffy's got a bounty. Buggy and Alvida are trying to find Luffy and get revenge. Zoro with the sword, which was literally referenced in Wano with him getting Kitetsu 3. Just insane. Like that's episode 49, bro. We get the amazing filler of Usopp versus Daddy the Parrot. Peak. You guys are saying dragon introduction like it's a good thing. I don't know. I'm joking. No, I mean, the thing is like, it is like a cool introduction and gives you a lot of intrigue about Dragon. Smoker introduced. Smoker in his vehicle, who the live action actor already leaked that he like, I think he uses it. I think he was talking about it. And then the feet on the barrel, bro. That's like the beginning of One Piece. Honestly, the beginning of One Piece is like episode 53. Everything before that is a prequel. Luffy with the parallel to Roger, which like the longer One Piece goes on just makes sense. I don't know. Like I said, this is so much like like Romance Dawn Part 2. Like the longer we watch, the more it means something. You know what I mean? That being said, where does it go on the tier list? I'm 99% sure I want to put it in B. It's mostly just about if it goes above or below Romance Dawn for me. And I think in retrospect, I look back on Logtown with like more intrigue because of the barkeeper and how he talks about Roger and how Roger's name was like changed just to like kind of deter it. So I'm gonna put Logtown in B above Romance Dawn. Let's see what chat said. All right, chat agrees, B. Some people put it in peak, some people in A, 5 in C. Glad we can reach an agreement there. Next up, and it's kind of still crazy that this is its own, but Reverse Mountain. Reverse Mountain takes place from, we're out of East Blue. This is the beginning of the Alabasta saga, 62 to 64. So it's only 2 episodes. I guess, yeah, because it's not part of Whiskey Peak. Here's the thing I'll say about Reverse Mountain. It sets up very early on, basically, backstory for Brooke, the importance of the lighthouse keeper for later on and who he is in Roger's crew. And yeah, bro, someone in the chat said the sense of adventure because you're crossing that mountain. It's like, what could lie out there? Well, you're thinking about like Mihawk and how that was like the pinnacle and everything. It introduced the log pose, which is like a main mechanic in One Piece. And it starts off the Alabasta saga. So it's good. It's kind of also falls under the thing of it's very early on and there's not much like risk or anything to it. And like I said, it's one of those where it gets more and more important the longer we go. This is the tough part because Reverse Mountain is only 2 episodes. So the question is it about what it does with those 2 episodes? It's about how good it is. And it's good. Like I was intrigued by the whale, why he was in it. It made me cry. Reverse Mountain is good. I would say it's better than Orangetown Sur Village. Would I say it's better than Logtown and Romance Dawn? Probably not. So the question remains, is it top of C or bottom of B? I'm gonna say bottom of B. Because like I said, it doesn't waste your time, gets through it quickly. It didn't reveal Crocus as who he was yet, like in part of Roger's crew, but like it introduces that character to us. And yeah, I think Reverse Mountain in the bottom of B is good. See what chat said. Chat said C. Okay, all right. I don't blame you guys. I really don't. Next up, Whiskey Peak. Whiskey Peak takes place from 64 to 67, so it's 4 episodes. It feels longer than that. I don't know why. We're introduced to Robin, the guy with the snot with the bombs. I think he's like Mr. 6. Eganum blows up, and then I think the highlight of the arc is Zoro versus, was it Zoro versus like 100 or 50? Something like that. I don't look back on Whiskey Peak very fondly, to be honest. Zoro fighting Luffy was super frustrating. I actually don't even remember why they were fighting, but it annoyed me. So Whiskey Peak kind of annoys me. I'm not including the Kobe Helmeppo episodes as Whiskey Peak. That's kind of its own thing. It felt so forced, bro. Also, Eganum is like the first fake out death, but like that one wasn't really a fake out because like, I don't think Robin wanted to kill him. And then the girl that like laughs and then drops her weight, just like I didn't like. There's just a lot about Whiskey Peak I don't like actively, which is why in comparison to like Surah Village, there's not that much that I actively dislike. Same for Orangetown. So I think I felt this way about Whiskey Peak for a while. The only highlight is Zoro fighting a bunch of people, but even then it's just like that's all it's got. So I'm gonna put Whiskey Peak at D. My first D rank, bro. Let's see what chat said. Chat says C. I feel like chat's not gonna put a single arc in D. Not a single one is going to D for chat. All right, C it is, bro. Majority rules. Next up, Little Garden. How do I feel about Little Garden? Dory and Broggy are likable. The backstory of like how they were like basically tricked. Not that they weren't tricked. The ones on NA's Lobby were tricked. But the ones on NA's Lobby bringing up how Dory and Broggy were like AFK and why was good. It kind of introduces Usopp's like dream. Them clashing is really cool. I like Mr. 3, but I didn't love like the fight there. I guess the Mr. 3 like suit thing is cool, like the mecha thing. Zoro trying to cut off his own legs. I think somebody said that that's like one of the only scars on Zoro's body besides the one from Mihawk, which is crazy. That was a really funny moment. Miss Golden Week was just an awful member of Baroque Works. Like who hired this child? Like Severance. I don't look back on Little Garden very fondly for the most part, besides Dory and Broggy. So I'm gonna put it. How long was it? Dude, yeah, a Hex on Luffy colors trap. This shit's gonna make me mad just like to see it again. Like how, oh my God, bro. Luffy just could not figure this out, dog. He just couldn't. Just so stupid, man. So dumb, bro. But it's like, why is she a child? Wait, Miss Golden Week wasn't even a devil fruit user, by the way. Are you joking? How does she do that then? What do you mean? How did she do that? This whole sequence was just annoying to me. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of just annoying. Some people might think back on it fondly. It wasn't for me. 70 through 77. So only 7 episodes. Don't really waste that much time. Like I said, Dorian probably the only parts I liked about it. But if Mr. 3 weren't there, they wouldn't have had like an antagonist really. I'm gonna put Little Garden top of C. Let Chad say B. All right. Well, I need to talk with anybody that put Little Garden and Peak. That's questionable. Our charts differentiate once again, chat. Next up, origins of Tony himself. How do I feel about Drum Island, bro? Drum Island lasts from 78 through, oh my goodness, 91. The thing about Drum Island is it feels like it needs the 13 because of how large Drum Island is. The island with Arlong Park was pretty small, and I feel like it uses all of the episodes. The scene of Luffy climbing the whole like island and like his fingernails scraping was horrible to watch. You get to meet Dalton, the Giga Chad. Dr. Kureha, it has Chopper's backstory, which was a banger backstory. Definitely cried there, but I don't cry at anime. Drum Island is a banger, bro. It is a banger. The only unfortunate part for it is that it includes Walpole, probably one of the worst villains in the show, and it's not even close. If Walpole had been a cool villain, we would be back. Drum Island would be in peak. Drum Island would absolutely be in peak if Walpole was a cool villain, but he's just not. He's got kind of a cool power, and I'd like goofy villains. Like I liked Buggy like from the beginning. I'm putting it in A. I just kind of have to decide where it goes. I think tentatively, I want it in between Arlong and Baratier, just because Chopper's backstory is so good. Luffy goes through so much on it. Drum Island's going on A in between Arlong and Baratier. Walpole literally keeps it from peak. I'm not even joking. What did you guys say? I'm expecting chat to have said peak. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, okay, cool. We agree. Our charts are already so different though, low key chat. All right, next up, this is a big one, bro. The Kingdom of Alabasta. I think I already know how chat's gonna vote on this one, but we'll see. All right, bro. Alabasta is the first like juicer McGooser of an arc. This thing was so long. So 92 through 31? Yeah, 31. 130. 92 through 130. So like 38 episodes? Yeah, it's the first juicer of an arc. Super juicer. We get Crocodile. We get Robin. We get all of the Straw Hats having their own fight set up. Bro, the fight, I'm not even joking. The fight with Usopp and Chopper versus the baseball guy and Miss Merry Christmas is actually like maybe Usopp's best fight in the series. Dude, the scene with like all the baseballs are like surrounding them and like slowing down time, peak. Usopp Hammer, peak. Zoro versus Mr. One, peak. I like teased how powerful Zoro actually is. Nami uses Clean Attack for the first time. Luffy fights the strongest person by far that he's ever fought. Literally dies like 3 times. Get introduced to the GOAT, Bon Clay. Bon Clay versus Sanji is one of the best fights too. The history of Alabasta and like how Crocodile took over. Bro, it's so lore rich and insane. Chat, it's not even a question for me. Alabasta is in peak. Alabasta, there is like almost nothing wrong with it. Since we're talking about like perfection, the only problems with it are Pell living for some reason, for no reason, Kozu living for some reason, for no reason, and the King's Guard taking that like suicide pill to make them really strong and then doing nothing with it. Do you guys remember that? All the King's Guard are like, he's like, no, you didn't. They're like, we all injected ourselves to protect you, Mr. Cobra. And then they all just die. They all just die like 30 seconds later for nothing. It was awful. So yeah, Alabasta's peak for me. That is the first peak arc. Absolutely nothing wrong with it, I don't think. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Let's see what chat said. Let's see what chat said. Yeah, I raised you guys right. Yep. Yeah, I raised you guys right. Next up, Jaya. Pre-Skypea. Jaya lasts 144 to 152 about, maybe 151. So it's very, very, very short. Bro, Jaya is insane. It already has Luffy showing that he learned his lesson from Shanks. Do you guys remember when Shanks didn't beat up those guys and like just left it and like little Luffy was watching him and he analyzed that? Bro, he already puts it to use here when they're in that bar and Bellamy's guys are messing with them and he tells Zoro and Nami not to do anything. And they just dip. It already shows how much Luffy looked up to Shanks and took in from him. It introduced the Blackbeard reveal is one of the best reveals in the show, and it's not even close. One of the best reveals in the show. It reveals Doflamingo and Kuma. It shows the elders. Yeah, 151 starts to show, it reveals Whitebeard. Bro, 151 is one of the best episodes of One Piece, and it's not even close. It's not even remotely close. This was absurd levels of hype. It shows Sengoku, Mihawk meeting with them like dog. Insane levels. It shows what Shanks is up to. Shows Blackbeard, the Blackbeard crew reveal. Dog, Jaya is so that good, man. And it doesn't waste your time either. Jaya is in A tier, right above Drum Island for me. The only reason it's not in peak is because it's more of a building arc and it's not really a standalone. I mostly, in terms of like peak, would mostly just put standalone stuff that like is like the culmination. This builds up for the rest of the series and does it very, very, very well. There's another arc down the line that does the same thing that we'll get to. See what chat said. Nice, nice. We have 15 people to put in peak, which I can kind of understand actually. Jaya's a big deal. Next up, a very divisive one, Skypia. Skypia run from also a juice servant arc. Really juice servant arc. 152. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. To 195? Skypia's 43 episodes? I do not remember it being that long. Skypia is like the same length as Alabasta. Oh my gosh. Here's what I'll say from Skypia right out the gate. I think it catches a little too much flack. The fact that people actually say they skip Skypia makes me sick to my stomach. That's just levels of insane. I can't even fathom. Like, if you're gonna skip a whole arc, you might as well just not watch the show. NL, strongest villain in the show that we met so far, and it's not even close. If Luffy wasn't rubber, he would have lost instantly. I think the only, like, this might be controversial. I think the only sort of like in retrospect downside was like the final fight was he didn't really fight NL. He hit him once and knocked him into the bell. Skypia is way less about the fights and more about the lore and the history of all of everything. And they even see the poneglyph with Roger's message on it, which we later like learn like how it got there, or like how the message got there. Skypia is big for the lore, bro. Another big downside to Skypia is the pacing's really slow. Whenever they start the games, the survival games, it's kind of like Dressrosa's survival games. It just feels like everything screeches to a halt. Like it should be ramping. It's ramping. He's like, all right, survival games. And it's kind of stagnant for like 5 or 6 episodes. It's not that long, but it's slow. And L's a cool villain. The other priests are not intimidating besides the guy that rides the bird. The Nolan Kagura backstory is very good. It is. I'm gonna put Skypia at the top of B. I think it's a solid 7 out of 10. I think the pacing really kills it. The shot of all of them standing there like pointing at an L was really cool. The lore kind of carries it. The lore and how intimidating an L is. I think it's a solid B. Let's see what chat says. Guys, like, I understand it's annoying how people dunk on Skypia, but we don't have to swing the pendulum to the full other side, bro. It's peak? Wait, no, this one I'm genuinely perplexed on. Can somebody that voted peak, like, that's crazy, no? Like, maybe I could see A. That's crazy. All right, well, chat shocks me. This is genuinely shocking to me. Oh no. Yo, wait, I'm actually very intrigued for this one, bro. Long Ring, Long Land. Let's go, dude. Peak A, B, C, or D. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay, first off, this I hold very dearly because it was the first time I watched One Piece without black bars. I didn't watch these special editions like HD. I watched the OG black bars. So Water 7 was a big deal for me, bro. Even Long Ring, Long Land. It was the first time I was watching like HD One Piece. Long Ring, Long Land is from 207 to 219, so 12 episodes. Definitely an overstayer. The fact that there's even a filler episode in it is absolutely, 2 filler episodes in it is absolutely insane. For context, I don't think I even watched 214 and 215, so I'm not even taking those into account. Highlights of Long Ring, Long Land. I actually really liked Zoro and Sanji's like ball battle. I thought that the second round, that was cool. And Luffy fighting Foxy was actually a really good fight. I actually really liked that. Because Foxy, you had to fight very creatively. A lot of people think like the Davy back fights are going to be a big deal later on. We'll see. And that might be why it's canon. Introduces us to Aokiji at the very end. Wait, does it really? That's then? Oh my god, is that technically Long Ring, Long Land? No, I think Aokiji is technically Water 7, chat. No? No? Oh. All right, I mean, Aokiji introduction gets some points because that's the first admiral you meet, bro. And it's scary. It's very scary. Oh, this is all filler right here. I remember now. Downsides to Foxy, it feels overly silly, especially in round 1. Like, I want One Piece to be silly, but like round 1, the boat race was just like, you saw how it all was coming like 10 minutes early. Like you saw Foxy setting up the traps and almost felt like, okay, I get it. Like he's rigging the games. I get it. I think that's why I liked round 2, because it felt like they were going like all out. And what was, wait, showdown on the cliff, red light, green light? Yeah, what was round 3? The roller derby? I think it catches a little bit much flack, especially because it is short, but it is very silly. I enjoyed some parts of it. Like I said, round 1, kind of just meh. Second round was literally filler, so I didn't see it. So it's kind of harder for me to rank that one. Round 3 and Luffy Foxy was good. I'm gonna put Long Ring and Long Land in C, just below Syrup Village. I think. I don't think it's better than Sur Village, Orangetown, or Little Garden. I'm very curious on this one. Let's see what chat said. So we need to start taking this shit seriously, bro. I'm gonna ban this entire chat. Am I getting botted? Why did 30 of you vote peak? Are we joking? Bro, if that had actually won, I think I would just deleted your poll, your tier list, chat. I would just burned it for you. All right, but the majority said D. Thank goodness for the majority. Chat, you can like Long Ring, Long Land. I could see people putting it in B, maybe even A, but yeah, you're trolling. All right, next up, Water 7. Not any slobby, chat, they're separate. Water 7 runs from episode 229. Chat, does the end of Water 7, like when they get on the train? So about 264. Oh my God, that's long. Wait, 229 to 264. So about 35 episodes. Longer, especially for it being like sort of build up to any slobby. We get the first news about Mary and like what might happen. It's sort of like the Punk Hazard to Dressrosa. Water 7 is to any slobby. Introduced to Frankie, introduced to CP9. Robin's sort of past catches up to her. Like I said, the Mary news, Luffy fighting Usopp, I cried. So it has emotional weight to it. We get to meet Soga King. The fights on the train are pretty good. We do have Wanze, the Ramen Kempo guy. Water 7 had a lot, bro. A lot to offer. Intrigue, excitement. Once you realize where they're going, you're kind of waiting for any slobby. It has emotional weight. A lot of people put Water 7 in peak. I do not. I put it in A. Where it goes in A, probably right here, right below Arlong Park. And I already know chat's gonna put it in peak. I think it's really good, but like I said, once you realize they're going to any slobby and sort of a chase down and the finale is gonna occur there, it's like, all right, this is what this is for. Let's see what chat said. Oh, it was closer than I thought, actually. All right, well, chat puts it in peak. I understand, bro. I do. Next up, any slobby. All right, let's get down to brass tacks, bro. Let's get some down to brass tacks. Any slobby takes place from 263. Oh wait, chat. I just realized post any slobby isn't on here. Should we include it separately? Some people do. I think I just include it together because post isn't that long. I think it should be together. So we're gonna say to, 325. It even includes the Ace Blackbeard fight. Any slobby, I think, was when like at Arlong Park, I was like, all right, One Piece is pretty good. I think any slobby was when I realized I was like, all right, One Piece has like some crazy like depth to it. It's literally so much, from even Zoro's fight, Luffy fighting Lucci, the lore with the emperors, Blackbeard fighting Ace, like Blackbeard fighting Ace, and then the narrator saying like the extent of the fallout of this fight, like who won, will change things forever. Shanks meeting with Whitebeard, we'll even go back into any slobby. I genuinely think the only thing I can think of that I didn't like about any slobby, which is probably a stupid gripe, a lot of people will say, was how Luffy launched himself in to any slobby. And again, like I said, a lot of people are gonna say like that's part of his character and who he is. I think that genuinely annoyed me when he did it because I felt actually scared. I actually want to play a scene because I haven't watched it in a while. A scene I actually got chills from. It was when Frankie was like seeing the island. This scene right here. Bro, this soundtrack during this is the first time I remember this soundtrack specifically. You know what I'm talking about? Right here, bro. Like Frankie's reaction to the island. The zoom out, bro. Oh my God. Actually chills, bro. Oh my God. Oh my God. So good, bro. So good. The introduction to the island. I'm so glad they waited until this exact moment to show what it looked like. They held their cards so close to their chest. All right, back to it. Any slobby for me is the best arc so far. And it's kind of close, but yeah, it's almost not even close. Alabasta's like here, probably, like in comparison. Any slobby is absolutely absurd. It's absurd, the levels. All right, let's see what chat said. Oh my God, the poll's gone. Wait, you guys put it in, yeah. You guys better put it in peak. I would probably have ended stream. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's fine to like disagree on stuff, chat. I would have ended stream. You guys have 5 arcs in peak. You guys are some glazers, bro. You guys are some absolute glazers. Oh my gosh. I only have 2 in peak right now. Next up, Thriller Bark. All right, guys. It's time to talk about Thriller Bark. Thriller Bark, as you guys know, I hold very dear. See, people say Long Ring, Long Land is like the last time the Straw Hats goof off together. And I'm not saying Gecko Moria isn't threatening, but it felt like the Straw Hats were having fun together, exploring the island. Dude, the vibes on Thriller Bark are absolutely immaculate. The Halloween spooky vibes are absolutely immaculate. The questioning of the island and how it operates, how it's its own boat at the same time. Gecko Moria meeting with Kuma, Kuma lurking in the background the entire time, and one of the greatest moves in all of One Piece. Are you ready, bro? Are you ready? Oh my god, Frankie playing Fortnite like dog. When's Luffy get put in the box, bro? Chat, one of the coolest scenes. No joke, that's so overlooked. Bro, what kind of villain is so intense that he calls his defeat a baptism? Bro, who's on this level? Who? Nobody. Nobody's on this shit talk level besides my goat Moria. Nobody is on this shit talk level. Not a single character, bro. Nobody. Okay. Anyways, then my goat loses. We get the Brook backstory, which is the best backstory in the show. We get Kuma, nothing happened, the whimsical nature of the island, Usopp versus Perona, actually rare Usopp W moment, the Straw Hats all getting to fight together against Oars, Nightmare Luffy, a pedophile. What more could you want, bro? Like, genuinely, I cannot glaze this arc enough. The only downside to Thriller Bark is the pacing. This arc, how long is it? It goes 337 to 381. So like 43, 44. It could easily be like a 30 episode arc. Only downside to Thriller Bark. Thriller Bark for me is S tier. It's below Alabasta and Ace Lobby, but it's S tier. Peak cinema. Let's see what chat said. Curious on this one. B, you guys are saying Thriller Bark is on the same level as Logtown. Like, are you just brain dead or just willfully ignorant? You might be absolutely high out of your mind. Oh my gosh. No, I mean, it's fine. Like, you guys just lose credibility with me. It's up to you on whether or not you care. You should. All right, next up, Sabaody Archipelago. Sabaody is up next. Sabaody lasts from 385 to 405. So 20 episodes? That's crazy pacing too. I feel like that's really well paced for how much occurs in Sabaody. Because if you think about Sabaody, most people just remember like meeting Kid-in-Law. Like from the get-go. But the more you think about it, the introduction of probably my favorite Admiral, Kizaru. Fujitora is really close though. To Hachan being reintroduced. To kind of a tease from Sanji and like why like his poster being different affects that. To seeing celestial dragons for the first time. The being introduced to the entire worst generation, to Law, to Kid, to the goat Apu, and then to the pacifistas wiping out the Straw Hats. Bro, Sabaody had it all. World building, good fights, emotion from Luffy losing his crew. Bro, it literally has everything in a very quick amount of time too. Yeah, Sabaody is in peak. Probably here. Sabaody goes absolutely dummy. And it does it all very quickly. Doesn't waste your time. All right, chat very, very strongly agrees. I agree with you guys. You guys have 6 in peak. Yeah, you guys are glazers. Next up, Amazon Lily. Amazon Lily lasts from 408 to 416. And then we have the Straw Hats whereabouts. I don't think the Straw Hats whereabouts is on here. That's fine. 408 to 416. So it's literally only 8 episodes. Very short. Getting introduced to a warlord's cool. It reveals Luffy's conquerors, right? Whenever he's fighting the sisters. It reveals his conquerors, which is a big deal. And then Luffy finds out about Ace. Aside from that, not a ton happens. I mean, that is a lot, but like not a ton goes down. It's definitely a building arc. I would say it's somewhere around here on B. Probably like right above Reverse Mountain and right below Romance Dawn. Yeah. All right, let's see what chat said. Okay. 6 in peak is crazy. I don't know if it has that much to offer. All right, next up. Chat, we only have 9 more. Impel Down. Impel Down is the next arc in the Marineford saga. We go from, I'm not including the Friends whereabouts, which was very slow. We go from 422 to 452. So 30 episodes, which is a tad long. But if I'm being honest, Impel Down is similarly to certain islands is one of my favorite islands and favorite settings in the entire show. I think jailbreaks are so sick. So the concept of like a vertical jailbreak is just insane and something only One Piece could do. Getting reunited with like Buggy, Mr. 3, Crocodile, meeting Jimbei, and dog, I feel like it's not talked about enough. Magellan is quite literally one of the strongest people in One Piece. Like, they couldn't even beat him. They all had to just run away. Magellan is actually one, besides his like diarrhea, he's actually one of the strongest. Crocodile's return is hype. Ivan having info on Crocodile is hype. There's just so much, bro. There's so much. Literally the only thing it's missing, like I said, is sort of like an emotional like hitter. Like that kind of rounds out an arc and puts it in peak. But besides that, Impel Down goes in A for me easily. Easily in A. It's probably an 8.5. I'm gonna put it right in between Jaya and Water 7 probably. Yeah, I think I'm satisfied with that. What about you guys? Oh, all in A too. All right. I feel like we've agreed a lot lately, chat. It might start to change here though with the later arcs. We'll see. All right, next. Marineford. Marineford covers from 459. It includes the backstory. We're saying post Marineford 2, so 516 to 516. So it is very long. Was it 459 to 516? It's very long. It kind of has to be. And bro, Marineford was like the first all-out war in One Piece that we got to see. It is straight up an all-out war. There's so many people fighting, so many crews showing up. It's absurd. You have everything that was built up from this saga leading into it. Luffy's entrance from the sky, the shot of Luffy in front of the three admirals, the emotional weight between Ace to Garp to Whitebeard, Blackbeard rolling up, Shanks rolling up. Just absurd, bro. You get the backstory with Sabo and Ace. Yeah, man. Learning about the the time skip and like what's gonna occur, his training, Jinbei saving Luffy and kind of like establishing himself, Whitebeard being the GOAT, just insanity. Like I said, it's the first war we actually got to see. It has everything, but I feel like something that people don't talk about enough was like when Garp is sitting there not knowing what to do and just like inside just having like a panic attack, bro. Oh my cinema. I would say the only downside is it's definitely stretched out a bit from like here, like this whole area, like the scaffold at last, like Luffy running to the scaffold. Like there's definitely some smaller fights that aren't as necessary and could have been shortened a little bit, but it's fine. It's really not that bad. It's not enough to take it off of peak. The question is where Marineford goes in peak. I think for me, it's right here. It's like 0.0001 below Enies Lobby and like decently above Alabasta. Like I think these three are way further away from Marineford and Enies Lobby than like the tier. You know what I mean? They're still in peak. They're still perfect. But I think they're all like further. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure chat probably said peak too. I feel like it's literally universally agreed upon. Boom. Not many left, chat. We're almost there. Now, we didn't get to do this, chat. We didn't get to do this the first time I did the tier list. I've never tier listed these arcs. I've tier listed all these and they might have changed a little bit, but these 7 arcs, I've never tier listed because whenever I did the tier list, I wasn't at post time skip yet. I don't think, or I was like a little bit past it. But now that I'm done with Wano, I can tier list all of them. Next up, Return to Sabaody. Pretty short. Return to Sabaody is it's 517 to 524, give or take. 523. So like 6 episodes. Return is cool. You get to see all the Straw Hats, all the post time skip, kind of get an idea of what they've been up to. Find out that Kuma guarded the ship. Yeah, I mean, nothing like beyond that. Like I said, a lot of these arcs, it's not even their own fault that they're not like peak. A lot of people blame Chopper for not recognizing the Straw Hats, but someone said that it's technically the same as an animal. So while it was only, what, 2 years for them, it was like 20 animal years. So like, it was a lot longer for bro. Sabaody, Return to Sabaody is all right. It's nothing crazy. You get a tease of like how stupidly strong Zoro's gotten, and then the goat Caribou is introduced. So I guess that's something. I would say like top of C, probably. Like literally the only intrigue to it is like what the Straw Hats look like, and it's just like it doesn't do that much beyond that. All right, let's see what chat said. B. All right, I don't disagree completely. B's not bad. Wait, somebody actually linked this GIF, and it actually makes me want to move it up. Unironically, it makes me want to move it up. Is that when Rayleigh cried? Okay. I'm gonna put it here. All right. Yo, chill. Everybody chill. All right, next chat, Fishman Island. Fishman Island is currently being remastered, but we're going based off the original Fishman Island. It takes place from 523, give or take, to 574. Damn, 50 episodes in Fishman Island. That's crazy. I don't remember it being that long. That's really long. So Fishman Island starts. It's probably Sanji's worst arc. Everybody knows that. There's an awful arc for Sanji. Just horrendous. Bro, there's an entire plot point around bro actually like almost dying and bleeding out from getting smushed against some boobs. Like just absolutely disaster. disastrous for his character. Luckily, there's some coming for him, so it's whatever, but yeah, absolutely disastrous for Sanji. Neptune was cool. Shirahoshi's all right. Shirahoshi, I think, took a while to grow on me. I'm glad Luffy's like really blunt with her because she could be pretty annoying, but like she's also very, 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 very young. So it makes sense that she's scared. She also doesn't even have a mom, bro. Like, I give her some pass. So it's a good thing that Luffy is like straight up with her. A lot of people dog on Fishman because of Hody, and I agree. I think his juiced up version is kind of cool, but I think the beauty in Fishman is like the overarching narrative themes. I think it's really on its own on the levels of like history. I see a lot of similarities like kind of to Wano with like the years going back, but like Fisher Tiger's backstory, and I feel like people misrepresent Hody Jones and they don't look at the moment of him saying he's evil just because he's evil enough. Because like bro became evil because of the like generations of like he didn't have a reason to be evil besides the fact of the way history was written. You know what I mean? And he's honest about that. And I think the genuine final villain of Fishman isn't even Hody. The genuine final villain of Fishman is Noah and them trying to stop it. You get Luffy showing off how strong his hockey is. The fights are probably the lowest point, like them fighting like Hody's minions, like this guy that goes invisible but like gets hit by everything even though he's invisible. Yeah, bro, like I feel like the fact that the first villain post time skip is weaker than Luffy. I think that's cool because it shows how much progress Luffy's made. It also has one of the best emotional scenes in the entire show that I still can't rewatch to this day because I'll cry even though I don't cry at anime, with the blood transfusion scene. That is absolutely cinema. I think the two biggest downsides to Fishman, it's not even Hody. It's the pacing and the fights. Fishman has a lot more to offer than people say. I'm gonna put Fishman Island at the top of A. I don't think it's peak. It definitely has its flaws. I think I like it there. All right, see what chat said. D! I could see B, maybe C, not D. That's crazy. All right, well, chat has spoken, bro. This is another one me and chat have absolutely disagreed on, but that's okay. It keeps things interesting. Next, Punk Hazard. I think this one's gonna be a very divisive one. All right, Punk Hazard runs from 579. Oh my God, wait, I forgot how long this was. Why is Punk Hazard so long? It does not need to be this long. 624? Oh wait, 629. It's got a couple filler. Oh my gosh. So like 45 episodes? Yeah, that's crazy, bro. It's definitely too long. The pacing is the worst. Like, I literally remember, it's the cart, chat. Do you guys remember the cart? This. I'm like scarred from this. This cart that they were like standing on. This. Oh my God, bro. They were going down this cartway for like 3 episodes, for like 60 minutes, just going down that was insane. That was the worst part of the pacing. That and like Smiley slowly encapsulating the island. Oh my God, that's the longest hallway on Earth. I don't remember it being this long. That's crazy. Smoker and Tashigi return post time skip. We meet Kinemon. We meet Momo. I like Caesar as a character a lot. I think Caesar's a great character. His design, his goofiness. I love Caesar, bro. I really liked Monet. Zoro got the flex a bit. It was definitely slow here too, like at the very beginning. Law fighting Smoker, 587. Caesar fighting Luffy. Chopper in Law's backpack. Law and Luffy forming the alliance. Sanji versus Virgo, very underrated fight. He literally breaks Sanji's legs. Law cutting the island. Smoker and Law teaming up. Besides that, like besides the bad pacing, I think Punk Hazard is gas pack. The pacing's really bad though, really bad. I think if this arc was 20 episodes shorter, it would be A. I think it's like high B. I think it's above Skypiea. I think it's like right here because all of these other arcs, like Fishman's slow, but it has everything else. These don't waste your time. I think it's B. All right, let's see what chat said. B. All right, well, a couple said peak. I agree. We agree on another one. 4 more. Dressrosa. The absolute mountain that Dressrosa is, split up into 2 categories on Crunchyroll. Takes place between 630 and 746 with some filler give or take. But Dressrosa is about 105, 110 episodes. We get introduced to my second favorite admiral, Fujitora, and he's only second favorite because he hasn't been in the show that much. I guess Kizaru hasn't. I just think Kizaru's. Dressrosa, I'll say, is very by far easily the worst paced arc in the show. Like, it's not even close. We get the intrigue of the kingdom, why there's toys. We get, this is like a fighter, like a battle nerd's heaven with all the fights in the Colosseum. Sabo comes back. We get introduced to a stupid amount of characters. Bart, Sabo, all of the Straw Hat Fleet, Future. So many characters, man. Dressrosa is like one of the only arcs in One Piece that I think has a really big plot hole with Sugar. Not Sugar's power, but how little they sort of have her protected. I think if Dressrosa could have been done better, they would have Sugar like locked away in a padded room in like behind like 15 safes. But the only she's just like being babysat by Trouble. Like the person that the entire like decade-long operation relies on is just chilling out. Like I don't know. I feel like that's so overlooked by Doflamingo and like kind of takes points off from like his genius in the whole plan. Like, do you guys remember there was an episode where they were like, there's 1 minute left of the cage closing in, and by the end of the episode they were like, there's 40 seconds left. Like I genuinely remember, hang on, let me find this real quick. Whenever I watch an episode, I write down what would be best for like the title / thumbnail so I don't forget. For 731 and 732, for 2 episodes, I wrote almost nothing happens, them pushing the cage. Title, the end of Dressrosa, question mark, question mark. Like I quite literally could not think of a single thing that could go in the title thumbnail. That's how little happened in 40 minutes of episodes. It was brutal, bro. That being said, it's still really good. It is still a really good arc. So much happens. Probably, I want to say it's like a 9.9. Like it's really close, but I genuinely can't ignore the pacing. I actually can't. It was so slow. It was so slow. It's still stupidly high. It's about as high as A tier can go, but it was so slow, man. I'm gonna guess chat said peak. Oh, it's close. Yo, chat, if you haven't voted, there's like 10 seconds left. Vote peak or A for Dressrosa. What do you think it is? A came back. Barely. All right, that was by far the closest. It wasn't close. 3 left, chat. And Reverie. We need to do Reverie separate. Zoe's pretty long in retrospect. Oh wait, it's 32 episodes? Never mind, I'm trolling. Zoe is 751 to 779, so not even that many. It's like 29. Zoe's got a lot of lore. We find out about Sanji. Raizo is alive. Raizo is here. Good moment. Weevil is introduced, which is interesting. Yeah, I think the beginning's a little slow. We get to meet Jack, which in retrospect makes me kind of sad because this was kind of Jack's peak. And then the road poneglyph and the explanation of the road poneglyph and the promise with Momo. Yeah, Zoe's good. Honestly, Zoe isn't that long. It could also probably be a little bit shorter. Probably like 4 or 5 episodes shorter. Do you guys remember the bugs? One of the episodes had filler where they fight bugs. Oh my God, here it is. Luffy's gotta use armament hockey. Dude, I feel like there's manga readers watching this like, no fucking way. Yeah, how long did this fight against the bugs last? It's like a 3-4 minute fight, but it was complete filler. Ay. Yeah, but I'm not gonna like, I just thought that was funny because I remember that. Zoe is low A for me. Probably here. Probably here. Here. Zoe's above Giles, below Impel down. Oh wait, what did you guys vote for Zoe? A. All right, well, I guess we agree. I'm actually kind of surprised on that one. I thought people put Zoe in peak. Okay, Whole Cakey is next. Whole Cake Island, 783 to 878. How many episodes is that? Like almost 100? 96. So we get introduced to Germa. This was pretty slow right here. We get to see Pedro and Brook invading. Sanji's backstory was really good. Luffy fought a chess piece for a bit. Brook versus Big Mom went crazy. Sanji's betrayal, Pudding's betrayal, Brule, bad as hell. Mommy, the team up with Beige. Yo, Beige really did elevate Whole Cake. Like, actually, he elevated Whole Cake so hard. Big Mom backstory. Luffy never really got the fight. That was kind of the downside to Whole Cake, was Luffy never got the fight Big Mom. And even in Wano, not really, which is the crazy part. Luffy never like fought Big Mom really, like straight up. Pedro blowing up, banger, not like, you know what I mean. And then the best fight in the show by far, and it's not even close. Luffy versus Katakuri was like, I feel like teased how Wano animation was gonna go for like every fight. Yeah, Luffy versus Katakuri. Bro, I thought Luffy fighting Doflamingo was hype, and then Luffy versus Katakuri came out, like spit on it, bent me over, and threw me out the window. Yeah, 870 is just peak. That being said, is the rest of the arc peak? Does it belong in peak? Brook fighting Big Mom, Luffy versus Katakuri. The emotional weight, Pudding burning the memories, finished Sanji's character character. I'm putting Whole Cake Island at the bottom of Peak. I think it belongs in Peak. Like I said, it's Luffy versus Katakuri is one of my favorite fights in the show, but beyond that, it has so much emotional weight with Sanji's backstory and Pudding that it's probably the only arc in Peak that I can ignore the like slight pacing issues it has. All right, let's see what chat said. Chat agrees. Chat does agree, bro. Where's the tuning exams? Yo, if one more person asks about a Naruto arc, I'm throwing my desk. Two left. What's up, Nano? Is Reverie its own section? Yeah, it is. Okay, I know I like rated stuff like Dressrosa based on the pacing. If I rated Reverie based off the pacing, Reverie's going into D. Because unfortunately for the anime, every single Reverie episode, half of it was a complete recap. This is all a Impel Down recap till like, oh, the end. So only for Reverie, I will ignore that solely because it's literally like attached to it. Reverie's hype. I mean, you got hype for Reverie because it built it up before even Whole Cake. Whereas Go On versus Cell, it just gets funnier. Reverie's 6 chapters and they turned it into 12 episodes. Nah, I see why there's so much recap. That's insane. Bro, they should have just taken like weeks off in between. That's so silly. Reverie built up Wano, showed the Revolutionary Army, showed like literally like what everybody's up to. Bro, Reverie has Tacos. Tacos is like one of the leaders and he's just wearing like a taco hat. Like, how can you compete with that? Yeah, man, Reverie is just exciting. It doesn't it has the building elements of stuff like, I would say Sabaody on a lower level. I would say it's like, if we straight up ignore all that stuff, it's like here probably. It's an A tier arc, probably here. I'll put it right below Impel Down. I'd say it's halfway through A. See what chat said. I was expecting chat to say Peak, but like I said, it doesn't have the elements of Peak. Peak is a completely whole rounded arc, from battles to the emotional elements to the island to the world building elements. It needs everything. A's fair. Guys, we have one more, bro. We have one more. Wano Country. Wano is by far the longest arc in One Piece. 208 episodes. Not exactly that many though, because those 208 episodes include all of these like SP episodes that are later on. These things that are just straight up recaps. It includes a lot of those in that. How many is it total? Like 190? Something like that. Wano's very, 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 very long. So long, the fact that they split it into acts for some reason. I think the funniest thing about Wano is that it's in acts. Act 1 is like 25 episodes. Act 2 is like 25 episodes. Act 3 is like 150 episodes. I don't think they thought that through, but I think it's still cool that it's split up. Wano is one of the most history-rich arcs. I was comparing it to, oh, Fishman. I said Fishman was similar. How a lot of the history from decades ago come into play. Act 3 was the full war. I think Act 3 was just the beginning of the raid. There's literally too much that happens in Wano to even recap. Oda for sure forgot there were acts. I would believe it. I think it makes sense the way it did it, like getting to Udon and then the whole Udon sequence and then the raid. It was just the raid was so long in comparison that it made the acts feel kind of silly. Honestly, the way they could have split the raid act, they could have started Act 3 at the beginning of the raid, and then, so the beginning of the raid is where? Like 984 is the beginning of the raid? They could have split and started like in Act 4, like I would say when Luffy got back to the roof. Like they did all that, Luffy falls off, and he gets back, like start Act 4 at like 1049. You could have found like a big moment and then started there. You know what I mean? But it's fine. That's like a minor concern. I told you guys this would be a while. Bro, I don't think of myself as like a punchy, like tough guy, like just liking fights. Like I don't think of myself as someone that only looks into stuff for the fights. That's why I like Fishman a lot. It's because, I mean, Fishman doesn't even have any crazy fights. But the absolute run that this show goes on, from Sanji and Queen to Zoro and King to Law and Kid versus Big Mom to Luffy versus Kaido, is absolutely mind-boggling. And even Killer and Hawkins, even then, that's like the teaser before they put it in. The run from 1061 to like 1076 is absurd. It's an absurd run of fights. Unironically, chat, I could tier list fights in Wano. There's that many. And unironically, I think Law and Kid versus Big Mom is on the same level as Luffy versus Kaido. I'm pretty sure for me. That fight was just... And then Zoro versus King is like 0.5 under that. And Zoro versus King was just like melting my eyes. But yeah, bro, I just love arcs that are so rich in history. Like you're not just getting there and something's happening. You're getting there and shit's been happening for a long time. And it adds like weight to it. The lowest parts of Wano by far are Act 2 and Udon. It drags on for sure. And then all the Ice-Oni stuff during the raid is just, it feels like it's made to slow the raid down. You know what I mean? It feels like it's made just to slow everything cutting down and have something like lesser to cut to. That aside, and then, okay, the only other thing I'll say besides the pacing and the isonis and then the udon, the number of Kanjuro Orochi death fake outs genuinely had me tweaking. Genuinely had me like ready to just drop the show at 1000 and episode 50. You know what I mean? It actually had me tweaking how long those two lasted after they died the first time. I was freaking out, bro. I was freaking out. Even when Kanjuro finally died, he was reincarnated as a fire. I like Kaido a lot. I like a villain that knows how strong he is. I did not see Kanjuro no, I did not see all that coming. That was a good plot twist too. Roger's backstory, dude, like it's actually like gross to think about how much Wano has to offer. It's actually nasty. Oh, and then the sumo wrestling was also pretty poorly paced, but that was so long ago, I forgot. It's gross how much Wano has to offer. So pacing and isonis are probably the lowest points in Wano. Dude, people are gonna say this is knee jerk, and it might be. It might change in a couple of months because it was very, 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 very recently that I finished. But I think Wano is my favorite arc in One Piece. I think there's just, it's in comparison, it's a mountain of information, fights, lore, history. Like it feels like a different show, bro. The entirety of One Piece is built up to Wano. It's like a mini finale, bro. It's actually a mini finale because it's everything combined, bro. The fights get the best animation that they've ever had by far. Like I said, bro, Luffy versus Katakuri was like a teaser for how good the fights are in Wano. I think it fully ties everything together. Let's see what chat said. It's just, like I said, it's overwhelming. It feels like I'm doing tricks on it, but it's overwhelming how much Wano has to offer. Like, even I said Enies Lobby was peak. It feels like Enies Lobby on like 50 different kinds of steroids. You know what I mean? Same for Marine Ford. So that's it, chat. That's the end of our tier list, bro. I'll put ours side by side, man. You guys had way more in peak than me. So left is mine, right is you guys. Y'all had a lot more in peak. Well, only 2 more in peak, actually, by the end of it. I mean, all in all, it's pretty similar. I have Skypiea way lower than you. You guys have Fishman way lower than me. Aside from that, everything's very close, I think. That's it for my tier list on One Piece, all the arcs. We'll do this once again when I guess the show ends in like, okay, today's March of 2025, March 11th, 2025. When do you guys think the next part's coming out when One Piece ends? I feel like One Piece will be done around 2030. We'll see. All right, bye.